Good everyone, it's your Educ Guru at your service. This time I prepared a video concerning let review. I am hoping that this can be an aid to my Educ students and other students out there who are preparing to take the let. So, let's get it on! I have sample review questions concerning professional education. You can join with me through answering using your pen and paper or other ways on how you can answer each question. Are you ready? Question number 1. In the preamble of the Code of Ethics of Professional Teachers, which is not said of teachers, A. Let passers, B. Duly licensed professionals, C. Possess dignity and reputation, D. With high moral values, as well as technical and professional competence. The answer is letter A. Let passers. Based on the preamble, teachers are duly licensed professionals who possess dignity and reputation with high moral values, as well as technical and professional competence in the practice of their noble profession. They strictly adhere to observe and practice this set of ethical and moral principles, standards, and values. Sorry, there must be no period after the preposition to. It is just a typographical error. Moving on to the next. Question number 2. As a teacher, you are a reconstructionist. Which among these will be your guiding principle? A. I must teach the child every knowledge, skill, and value that he needs for a better future. B. I must teach the child to develop his mental powers to the full. C. I must teach the child so he is assured of heaven. D. I must teach the child that we can never have real knowledge of anything. The answer is letter A. I must teach the child every knowledge, skill, and value that he needs for a better future. Reconstructionism is a philosophy of education that focuses on empowering the learning to take control over their own learning. The Reconstructionist classroom contains a teacher who involves the students in discussions of moral dilemmas to understand the implications of one's actions. Students individually select their objectives and social priorities, and then, with guidance from the teacher, create a plan of action to make the change happen. Reconstructionist teacher is there to help and guide, not to control. Question number 3. From whom do we owe the theory of deductive interference as illustrated in syllogisms? A. Plato, B. Socrates, C. Aristotle, D. Pythagoras. The answer is letter C. Aristotle. A syllogism is a kind of logical argument that applies deductive reasoning to arrive at a conclusion based on two propositions that are asserted or assumed to be true. In its earliest form, a syllogism arises when two true premises, propositions, or statements validly imply a conclusion or the main point that the argument aims to get across. Question number 4. In Krathwohl's affective domain of objectives, which of the following is the lowest level of affective behavior? A. Receiving, B. Characterization, C. Responding, D. Organization. The answer is letter A. Receiving. What is Krathwohl's affective domain taxonomy? Krathwohl's affective domain taxonomy is perhaps the best known of any of the affective taxonomies. The taxonomy is ordered according to the principle of internalization. Internalization refers to the process whereby a person's affect toward an object passes from a general awareness level to a point where the affect is internalized and consistently guides or controls the person's behavior. This is excerpted from Sills and Glasgow, 1990, page 28. The taxonomy is presented in 5 stages such as receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. When we say receiving, it describes the stage of being aware of or sensitive to the existence of certain ideas, material, or phenomena, and being willing to tolerate them. Responding describes the second stage of the taxonomy and refers to a commitment in some small measure to the ideas, materials, or phenomena involved by actively responding to them. When we say valuing, it means being willing to be perceived by others as valuing ideas, materials, or phenomena. The fourth stage of Krathwohl's taxonomy is organization, which involves relating the new value to those one already holds and bringing it into a harmonious and internally consistent philosophy. Lastly, characterization by value or value set means acting consistently in accordance with the values the individual has internalized. Question number 5. Principal DC tells her teachers that training in the humanities is most important. To which educational philosophy does she adhere? A. Existentialism. B. Perennialism. C. Progressivism. D. Essentialism. The answer is letter A. Existentialism. In perennialism, the aim of education is to ensure that students acquire understandings about the great ideas of Western civilization. In essentialism, there is a common core of knowledge that needs to be transmitted to students in a systematic, disciplined way. In progressivism, progressivists believe that education should focus on the whole child rather than on the content or the teacher. This educational philosophy stresses that students should test ideas by active experimentation. In existentialism, existentialist methods focus on the individual. Learning is self-paced, self-directed, and includes a great deal of individual contact with a teacher who relates to its student openly and honestly. In the existentialist classroom, subject matter takes second place to helping the students understand and appreciate themselves as unique individuals who accept complete responsibility for their thoughts, feelings, and actions. The teacher's role is to help students to define their own essence by exposing them to various paths they may take in life and create environment in which they may freely choose their own preferred way. Question number 6. Direct instruction is for facts, rules, and actions, as indirect instruction is for blank, blank, and blank. A. Hypothesis, verified data and conclusions. B. Concepts, patterns, and abstractions. C. Concepts, processes, and generalizations. D. Guesses, data, and conclusions. The answer is letter C. Concepts, processes, and generalizations. When we say direct instruction, it is where teachers use explicit teaching techniques to teach a specific skill to their students. This type of instruction is teacher-directed, where a teacher typically stands at the front of a room and presents information. On the contrary, indirect instruction is a student-centered approach to learning where students observe, investigate, and draw inferences from data. In this instructional model, professors take on the role of a facilitator or supporter as opposed to offering direct instruction. Small group instruction also characterizes this form of learning. Students draw upon their experiences and pose questions to better understand the course material. It also refers to incorporating an inquiry, problem solving, and decision making in the learning process. This approach also involves higher order thinking skills when solving problems. By drawing upon their own experiences, students are able to form meaningful connections to course content. Question number 7. To elicit more students' response, Teacher Nix made use of covert responses. Which one did she not do? A. She had the students write the response privately. B. She showed the correct answers on the overhead after the students have written their responses. C. She had the students write their responses privately, then called each of them. D. She refrained from judging on the students' responses. Write your answer. The answer is letter B. She showed the correct answers on the overhead after the students have written their responses. Did you get the correct answer? If there is any generally unobservable response, such as a thought, image, emotion, or internal physiological reaction, the existence of which is typically inferred or measured indirectly, so it can be said covert response. For example, covert preparation for physical responses can be observed in an electric brain potential called the lateralized readiness potential and in electromyographic measures of muscle activity, also called implicit response. While we can consider a response an overt response if there is any observable or external reaction, such as pointing to indicate one's preference from among a set of objects or answering yes to a question. Get ready for the next question. Question number 8. A child who gets punished for stealing candy may not steal again immediately. But this does not mean that the child may not steal again. Based on Thorndike's theory on punishment and learning, this shows that blank. A. Punishment strengthens a response. B. Punishment removes a response. C. Punishment does not remove a response. D. Punishment weakens a response. Go. The correct answer is letter D. Punishment weakens a response. Punishment is defined as any form of negative consequence. As animals' behavior followed by a negative consequence will be discontinued. Through trial and error, animals learn which behaviors bring about negative consequences. If an animal learns that there is a harm from a certain behavior through trial and error, the animal will decrease the behavior. Punishment reliably decreases behavior. The associations the animal has to that behavior are weakened by the animal's punishment when it performed the behavior. Let's have question number 9. Which is an appropriate way to manage off-task behavior? A. Make eye contact. B. Stop your class activity to correct a child who is no longer on task. C. Move closer to the child. D. Redirect a child's attention to tasks and check his progress to make sure he is continuing to work. Write your answer now. The answer is letter C. Move closer to the child. There are 6 ways in which teachers can successfully manage off-task behavior. Number 1, think proactively. 2, optimize their environment. 3, use reminders. 4, assess the activity. 5, actively supervise students. And 6, give them breaks. Last but not the least, question number 10. As a teacher, what do you do when you engage yourself in major task analysis? A. Test if learning reached higher level thinking skills. B. Break down a complex task into subskills. C. Determine the level of thinking involved. D. Revise lesson objectives. Go, write your answer. The answer is letter B. Break down a complex task into subskills. There are various steps for the implementation of task analysis. 1. Identifying the target skill. 2. Identifying the prerequisite skills of the learner and the materials needed to teach the task. 3. Breaking the skill into components. 4. Confirming that the task is completely analyzed. 5. Determining how the skill will be taught. And 6. Implementing intervention and monitoring progress. That would be all for this short video review. If you want to have a copy of the material or slide decks that I used today, you can comment on the comment section or simply message me on my IG account, Educ_Guru, or on my Facebook page, Educ Guru. I hope you learned. Thank you for watching!
Hanggang sa susunod na video. Salamat!